to Minish Market's YouTube channel. Today, there's something we've been meaning to bring up.
Hey. Today we're doing an unboxing of Vampire the Masquerade chapters.
Yes, which is our Gen Con booth exclusive, our Gen Con 2023. I don't know if you're going to be watching this in the future, but if you are at Gen Con right now or planning to go to Gen Con, we have this at our booth. It's a booth exclusive thanks to Flyos, so shout out to you guys. And if you like vampires, if you have played Vampire the Masquerade, if you like Minish Market, then keep on watching this unboxing video.
For sure. Booth number 1743.
Oh yeah,
In case
almost
you're
forgot
wondering.
about that. All right, let's get into it.
Let's go.
This is really heavy, y'all.
This is a thick boy.
Oh, and we already took the plastic off.
I struggle with the plastic wrap, so we prematurely took it off.
With a little help.
Yes. So when you first open the box, this is what it looks like, all lovely, wrapped in there. On the top are the player boards.
No, the game boards.
Game boards.
Yep. So we've got 20 different game boards that are dual-sided. So you have 40 unique
Can't get this open.
designs.
This paper is playing games on me. Which are super cool, super different, all these different scenarios. I think I saw one at one point that was a bathroom. There's an office.
We've got like a history museum. Like
That's really cool.
a bedroom. These are just really cool. I think this is a school. It's like a classroom or something.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
So you said over 40 different options basically.
40 total.
Yeah. And this game, I guess we should start off by saying what this game is about. Basically, you're a vampire, and if you played Vampire the Masquerade, it's all the same Vampire Masquerade lore. It's a narrative-driven co-op game.
That is correct.
Yes.
It's bringing together the awesomeness of RPGs with board games.
Yeah.
So next up, we've got the Storybook,
Like
which is beautifully spiral bound, which I love because as thick as it is, you don't want to have a game or like a book that is sealed with like the actual binding and stuff, because if you're opening it too many times, like it's gonna get warped, it's gonna break the binding, and the spiral is just perfect. Like look at how seamless that is. Look at that. And it's got beautiful artwork. So it's got the artwork from a lot of the Masquerade stuff that's out. Here is the beautiful front cover.
Yeah, and the
Gorgeous.
storybook is basically going to take you through all the different scenarios. You also have the rule book here.
Very important when playing a game.
Yes. In the rule book too, it also, and the storybook, it shows all the different characters you can play, which I believe there are 8 different characters.
Yep, there are 8 different characters that you can pick and choose from 8 different clans. There's also 4 expansions, which include 4 additional clans that you can play with. Oh,
I kind of want
so loud.
Oh, I love this. I'm so stoked for these.
Okay, so these are all of the game components, which include the over 100 NPCs.
Yes.
And they are all individually in there. There's also game components here. I'm gonna open this up.
It's so ASMR right now. The NPCs are actually very important in this game because they have their own cards and they affect a lot of the scenarios, and obviously you have to feed on them because you're a vampire.
Of course. Yeah, so you've got additional components and such as well.
And
We've got
tokens.
these little tokens up here. And then of
Thought you
course,
popped one.
well, not yet. And then of course you've got all of the different numbered NPCs here. So
Which are 100, which is insane.
I love. This is my
What are you
favorite.
doing?
Nothing.
Nikki.
That's my favorite part of
That's
opening a
awkward.
new board game. There's so many to punch out.
And some of those tokens in there, obviously you're gonna put on your board, and the rulebook and scenario or storybook are gonna tell you how to set this up so you're not just putting random things
Correct.
on there.
Next up, we have the round tracker here, which helps you keep track of the rounds here, as well as your masquerade level and status, which is crucial to the game.
These dice are super cool. They're red and black. They are for your characters when you play out your. So I guess we should say there's 4 different phases of the game, which are the main sequence, combat, dialogue, and then investigation. And so you're going to use these dice as well as your character cards that will show you later to up your skill level or decide to play out a scenario with a NPC or do an investigation.
And these are the little cubes that you get that you can use on your player boards as well as your round tracker board. They're so cute. They're nice and clear. The little black one in there.
I almost forgot that there's a little skull on these. That means something very dark will happen. Flyos actually on their YouTube channel, shout out to them since they are providing this as our Gen Con exclusive. They have an amazing how to play video on this that will give you way more details than we are. We are just excited to dive in on all these components.
So we've got the bases for your NPC characters, as well as the different characters that you can put in the hexagonal grid on the game boards.
Yeah. Do we want to dive into the minis? I guess we show you. There's basically like a great organizational system in here. Like your minis are not going to be damaged or anything in here.
There's also 4 empty components for the 4 additional clans that you'll be able to play with the expansions.
Yeah.
So that's
and
fun.
these characters all have different skill levels. Some of them have better persuasion. Some of them are better fighters. So it just depends on what you're interested in.
Got a quick reference card. Feel like there should be more than one,
Yeah,
but it's good
I feel
to
like
know. I would always. I have to reference it every time. One of my favorite parts about this game, though, is the black sand in the timer. Like, is that not pretty?
That's really cool.
I love that.
I don't think I've ever
aspect.
seen that.
It's very aesthetic.
Hold on. I want to see. I think Erin, when we were looking through this last, was my favorite character that I probably would play.
This one?
She's got a cool earring, y'all.
We got Erin.
And then how about you pronounce this?
Luciana Ricci.
Yes,
Or
she
Richie.
used to be an opera singer, is that what you said?
That is indeed.
And
Yep.
she has a gnarly looking face.
She's
She would
insane.
scare somebody.
She's a Nosferatu.
Oh.
That is the clan that she is a part of.
Yes.
There you go there.
Okay. Next up, if I can get this out. I don't think so.
Oh.
We were getting up. It's
So
getting serious.
let's do individually. So
Okay.
these are your 32 player. Oh yeah.
I'll show you
It's
guys what it
heavy.
looks like. 'Cause it's super heavy.
There's 32 character reference.
Yes.
So like basically you'll fill these out. You can
Character sheets.
Thank you.
Yes.
These are
Character
your
sheets.
32 character sheets. You get a couple per character. I believe it's 4 per character that you can use and abuse. Basically, there is replayability with this based on the fact that you have so many choices to make as you go through your dialogue options and things like that. You can play solo. It is super recommended by Flyos to play the prologues as a solo player so that you can get into your character and understand what your character is all about.
Right.
As you go through and you level up, basically, you'll be able to assign points to your character. So you can just level up his attributes and hopefully roll better and you get better stats.
Right. And if you're playing solo or if you have a certain amount of character or people playing, that determines the damage and attack level of your enemies and of the scenarios in the dialogue and investigation phases. These are the character boards
That is true.
that you will be relying heavily on. I find it fun. I think this is the coolest part that I learned, that if you hit the highest level on the hunger here on this player board, then you have to stop immediately what you're doing in the game and you have to find the closest non-playable character to feed on.
No.
So it can get violent really fast.
And that can affect the way the story progresses based on who you decide to feed on, which is super important. We've also got on the back a little bit of story blurb for your character. Again, beautiful artwork on all of these. I love it.
All right, what's next?
Ooh, what are those?
These?
Oh, so there are 5? Yeah, no, these are secret. I can tell these are secret. I've played Legacy games before,
I wanna open
and these are super secret. No, don't open. It's bad open. These will give you hidden, like hidden results, basically, like when it tells you to open a specific card. Ooh, they've got really cool designs and very sleek.
Yeah, you definitely tell there's a lot of care put into making this game because these components are really high quality.
Look at the shiny.
It really is. Okay.
Oh.
We've got a lot of cards in here, y'all.
So many cards.
I'm just gonna start throwing them out there. So a lot of these cards are actually the non-playable characters cards and what they do for the scenarios like we were talking about.
There's also effect cards and discipline and item cards. This one says summon. This one's a state card apparently. There's over 600 cards in this.
Yes, so these little cards here, they'll be played in your main sequence and you'll use your character sheet with them, you'll roll. That's the whole part of this, is gaining skills and stuff like that in your main sequence with your character. I got one more little guy to get out.
There's so many more.
Hold for...
They're all basically the same size except for these NPC cards here.
Right, it looks like we've got 2 combat decks.
There's basically you get cards to start with specifically for your character, kind of like a starting hand. You also get an item card, I believe.
Here are the items.
And your discipline cards, which are associated with the with your character sheet. So like for this one, there's Fortitude, Dominate, Compel, and Presence. So I'm pretty sure those are the cards that you would get.
Yes. So a lot of cards.
There's so many. There's 3 whole bundles of effect cards, which I think there might be something else in here, but.
And with over 60 hours of gameplay, you will, I don't think you're gonna get through. Maybe you could get through all these cards. What do you think?
So depending on how many times you play this, like obviously you're not going to, it's improbable, I would say, that you would use all of the cards your very first time through. However, you will, like, they're estimating that it's roughly about 60 hours of gameplay because it's 30 minutes per player per chapter. And there's a lot of chapters. I believe there's 40 chapters or over 40 chapters.
Plus the expansions that you can get that are on our website.
Correct.
And at the Gen Con booth, I believe. Is that correct? The expansions you
Yes,
can get as well? Yes.
Absolutely. So you can get the base game and the expansion.
So you could have a lot more characters and a lot more scenarios and chapters to go through.
So there's 2 full effect ones and then a little bit of effect along with some more discipline. It took me far too long to open that. Nobody said I was good at this.
All right. What are these?
And these are what I'm most excited about.
These are chunky.
These are the storybooks. So basically, like, these first couple, I believe the first 8. Oh god, there's more. There's
so many.
They are your prologues for your character. So those are the ones that you will want to look through. For example, you use your prologue here, and then there's the chapters. So as you go through here, you play through the scenario, you make your choices. You're like, oh, we're gonna pretend to be police officers. If you do that, you go and you read. You have to do like you have to make a check, and based on whether you succeed or if you fail, then you read out the part of that.
And the
so
book,
good.
once you're done with the phases and the scenarios, it'll tell you what the success should have been.
Correct.
In the storybook. And I also like that there's just so much customization. Like you can choose at least 2 options or you have 2 choices you could make to change the scenario. There's so many. And there's also investigations in here. There's also the mysteries that you need to solve.
Look at that pile. That
oh
is
my god.
so much. I believe somebody said it was an estimated of over 500,000 words for these guys. Like, that's so much opportunity. Like, I love a good choose your own adventure. I used to be obsessed with like the Goosebumps books when I was a kid. So this is fantastic.
So if you like to read, this is also the game for you.
Absolutely. And if you decide you want to play this game solo, figure out what it's all about first, you can still, like, you'll know the storyline when you finish through playing it, but because there's so many options, you can still play with other people and be like, yo, this is a really, really good game. I want you guys to experience this with me. And then you can help them through a lot of like the combat and the dialogue and scenarios and stuff like that. So, is that it?
That is it.
Oh,
but
no.
I have questions for you. Yes, this is the inside of the box. Like I said, it's super organized, super high quality. None of your components are going to get damaged. My question for you, Nikki, is what is your favorite component that we've unboxed?
Oh, these. I
The
love
books are
these.
pretty awesome.
They're so cute. They're very sleek. You can tell a lot of love went into this game. I mean, while I do love a good mini, and this is kind of like a dudes on the table sort of game, my heart and soul is with RPGs, and this is bringing to light all of the RPG stuff.
Right.
So it is super interesting.
I'm most excited about all these different boards.
They're so cool.
So many scenarios, and really gets you immersed in the game. Is that the right word?
That is correct. Yeah. And like, you don't have to set anything up. Like, they give you the whole board already with like the outline.
Yeah.
And the grids are already on there. You don't have to fumble and try to put together a couple of different boards to make something. It'll tell you what scenario, what board, and you will they are numbered down at the bottom, so it'll say like which board you bring out, how to set it up, where the people go when you set it up, and things like that. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Okay, my last question is, after unboxing this, how would you describe this game to somebody in around 5 words?
I would like to say that it is
Mature, for sure.
yes, mature. It's a great story-driven board game, like co-op board game.
Yeah.
And
So
it's
story-driven.
correct, yeah. Story-driven board co-op game that brings a lot, merges the best of TTRPGs and board games. So.
I'm just gonna say gory because it's vampires, and vampires are so cool. Like,
Yeah.
I can only imagine like the investigation and mysteries that you have to go through. Like, that excites me.
Correct. Yeah, it is mature content. There is cursing in the dialogues and stuff like that. There is gore and stuff like that. But I think this would be, like, if you have time, whether by yourself and you're really into vampires or just a decent RPG board game, definitely worth your while. It would be cool to just get a bunch of people together and
You got 2
play
more
through this
words to
game.
describe this.
Oh, fantastic.
Thrilling.
And interesting.
Just throwing out all of the intense adjectives for this
That's
game.
right. Absolutely. But yeah, Flyos has the how-to video, which we will link below. We have this all set up at our booth, so if you are at Gen Con, go ahead and stop by
Booth
and take
1743.
1743.
Yes, come
Yep.
say hi to us. This setup is super cool this year. I'm super excited to see all the photos, and I hope you guys have a great time at Gen Con. And don't forget, if you like our unboxing videos, if you like our other videos on our YouTube channel, please subscribe and like the video and comment down below what you're most excited about this game, or if you bought this game, if you have any tips and tricks for others, that would be awesome.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. Share what you think. Give us a like and follow.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank
Thank you. We'll see you next time.
We gotta clean this up.
I don't want to. I just want to print out these boards. Just keep going. That is one way to bring it up.
Like, be like,
Oh, I can't read. That one better.
I'm gonna have to fight your roommate.
This just in.
I did that too.
We don't know what we're doing.
And now over to sports.
They say in Anchorman.
I don't.
Oh no, brown cow.
Oh no.
Oh no. Lanolin? That's the one I was thinking of. Oh no, brown cow.
How now, Brown?
How now, brown cow?
Uh,
Lanolin?
And the DVD was like messed up.